I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
All right. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 37 of the Best Thing We've Seen podcast. My name is Flo.
And I'm Gabe. How are you?
There's the energy. Yes, keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah, all right. Gonna
Woo.
do this today.
Mm-hmm.
What an episode.
Yeah, how you doing, man? How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing fine. I'm full of energy right now.
Yeah.
Because we just said, let's have some energy for this podcast. So
Just
here
like
I
that,
am.
it's here. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
I'm a performer.
Yeah, you are. You're getting good at this.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know, I can't speak for myself. I'm just praising you.
I'm waiting for my Golden Globe in the mail, but
Won a Golden Globe for this.
yeah.
I don't know if they give
Fuck,
out
that's
Golden Globes for podcasts. Isn't that
Well,
like
it's
more
great
like
performance, and I don't know, it's not going to be an Oscar, so
Sure.
what else is there?
Yeah, it's
Are
not going to
there
be an
podca-
Oscar yet.
A Webby, how about
A
that?
Webby, yeah, sure. I'll take a Webby.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Sounds like a wedgie.
I think I'm too old for that one.
Yeah. I mean, anyway.
Yeah.
Don't know
Moving
how
on.
to yeah. So we're back with another regular episode. Obviously, we had our latest special episode dropping last Monday. Leonardo DiCaprio, which was a good episode. I liked that
Yeah,
episode.
it was.
I think it turned out rather well.
A
Even though
great intro.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. I was going to say it took me a while to put this episode together because, it was just little things that bothered me and I kept going back to editing and also with the cover and stuff. I think I told you this before, things like that no one would notice. It's just me and just little things that bothered me. And then, as I said, no one's going to ever notice them, but, they wouldn't have noticed them if I hadn't changed them. But anyway, I think it turned out well.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, it was a bit of a bumpy episode, which I hope you, as a listener, did not notice because we had to take a couple of breaks, or I don't know what was the issue, but a couple of times we had to stop for like a couple of seconds. And
I don't even know that wasn't even the problem. It was just like little things in the background that I just wanted to cut out. It wasn't the fact that we were just like stumbling or anything like that. It was just little things. I think I didn't have to cut a lot, just like a couple of seconds or minutes maybe.
all right, well,
Yeah.
then I don't feel as bad.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Obviously we're back doing a regular episode now, talking about the best thing that we've seen in the last 2 weeks, because obviously we've been saving these things up. What about you? Have you seen a lot of things?
I think pretty much the same things that you've seen, and I think the jam-packed episodes are going to come out the next couple of weeks, because if you are not aware, I mean, I know you are aware, but to anyone who's listening, the Vienna Film Festival started, I think, yesterday as of this recording. I don't know if you've seen anything so far, but we're the two of us are going to watch a couple of films there. Some together, some not. And I'm excited.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some cool things.
It's going to be interesting to see how we're going to do this, because obviously if we're going to talk about these movies next week or whatever, these movies are not going to be released anytime soon. So it's difficult to sort of recommend them because no one can see them.
Well, we can, if we do this podcast next week, you might get some some remaining tickets that are still available. You can maybe buy some online if you're very lucky, because the tickets are already sold, of course, but sometimes you can get a couple of them online, or if you go to the cinema.
Well, it depends on the movie. Obviously, some movies are more popular than others. But, I mean, this episode is going to be released on Monday, and the film festival only goes till Sunday. So when we drop the next one, it's going to be over. Yeah, it's going to be a bit shorter this year. But if you're listening to this episode, check out the program and see if anything is of interest to you. There's a couple of good things, but overall, they're not like, I think, compared to last year's, like the last couple of years, it's a bit... it's not as good this year, but we'll see.
I mean, maybe we could have had a chance to see Dune if things had turned out differently.
Yeah, I don't think so, but maybe.
Yeah, but the thing is, still a couple of cool things, and although you might not be able to see them right away, maybe some of them are going to be released on the internet. Who knows? I'm not sure how they're going to handle the releases, because otherwise they got to wait like a year or more to release them anywhere. So yeah, you might get a chance to see some of them.
Yeah. I think we'll just, in the next episode, we'll just talk about some of our favorite things that we've seen so far, and then obviously maybe pick up, like, for example, Borat. I mean, the movie, maybe we'll talk about that next week as well, because that drops today when we're recording this, and by the time you're listening to this, it's been out for a couple of days. And we'll talk about some of the recent stuff as well, like not just things that are going to be coming out in the next months or whatever. But yeah,
right.
It's going to be a jam-packed episode next week, as you said.
It sure is. But we still got a couple of cool things to talk about this week.
For sure.
So, yeah, I think I'm going to start off this week's episode. And let's talk about something that we've seen together in the sneak preview this week.
Well, we have two sneaks that we have to discuss, right?
That's right, but let's take the worst one first.
All right,
my
the
opinion.
Secrets we keep. Let's talk about it.
How about Greenland first?
Well, Greenland is a great movie.
Seriously?
Yeah, it's not going to be my pick, but it's I really enjoyed it.
Really enjoyed it?
I really enjoyed it.
I'm very
no
surprised.
hint of irony there.
All right. Well, good for you.
Yeah, I mean, is The Secrets We Keep, is that your pick?
If there hadn't been another thing this week, which we also both saw,
right?
We'll get it would have been.
Right, we'll get to it. But okay, so let's talk about the two things that are not going to be our picks. Greenland and The Secrets We Keep.
Yeah.
Yeah, start us up. Please rant about Greenland then.
Well,
Tell them what it's about.
It's an action film, an apocalyptic action film with Jared Butler as the leading role, who plays a father, and his family gets selected for shelter because there's an asteroid or comet, I don't know which one it was, coming towards Earth, and it's worse than everybody thought, and the world might end, and they have to get to safety, and that's pretty much the story of them trying to get to safety before this thing hits the Earth.
Sure.
And as soon as the film was over, Flo turned to me and said, "Gabe, you hate this movie, right?"
I was right.
Well, I didn't hate it. That's the thing. I didn't have enough feelings of this film to actually hate it. I was like, all right, that just happened. I feel nothing.
Right, but you would agree that this is like this was never going to be like a movie that you enjoyed, right? This is just not the type of movie that you enjoy.
Yes, I mean, it's not the kind of thing that I enjoyed as right, and I'm not a fan of Jared Butler. Okay. I don't like his acting and his roles that he does. He's always this big, macho, superhero kind of guy, and I don't buy it. And the thing is, with this film, it's not just the story. It might have been interesting, but the acting was so incredibly bad all across the board, in my opinion. Maybe his wife.
Are you kidding me?
The actress who played his wife, I think, was like the best.
Yes, Morena Baccarin, who was in Deadpool. She's Deadpool's girlfriend.
Oh,
yeah,
fiance. I don't know.
I don't. Okay, so who else didn't you like? You didn't like Jared Butler's acting.
Her father was horrendous.
Oh, dude,
he looked like fucking.
Are you kidding me?
John McAfee.
Are you kidding me? I wrote down how great the father's performance was.
What?
Yes.
It was so flat and unconvincing.
He was great, and the best out of the bunch was the kid.
Yeah, at times.
Okay, well, okay. So, I don't think we've ever disagreed more on the movie, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, this shows that even acting is quite subjective, I guess. But I think the kid at times I thought his expressions were quite convincing for the horror that he was going through, especially the scene where the two strangers take him to the military outpost.
The best scene in the movie.
Dude, yeah, that was, performance-wise, one of the best scenes. And then at other times, the kid just seemed like he didn't even care.
I agree that some of the some of the scenes where he was like a cute kid making his parents sort of smile about how cute and smart he was. I agree. But I don't think that's the fault of the actor. I think that's just the scene that is like poorly written. I want to shout out his name because I have never seen him before, and I think he is great. He's called Roger Dale Floyd, right?
Cool name.
And he plays, as we said, he plays the kid of Jared Butler's character and Morena Baccarin's character. And as you just mentioned as well, there's that one scene where, I mean, it's difficult. I don't want to spoil it necessarily, but I do want to talk about this scene because a lot of shit happens in the first, like beyond the fact that, or besides the fact that a comet is going to hit and destroy the planet, a lot of shit happens on their way trying to get to safety. And I was like, these guys are just meeting the worst people because these people are pretending to help them, but then they turn out to be, or they have other intentions. And there's that one scene.
Everybody's just trying to survive, I guess. I mean,
yes, no, I agree.
They are cunts, but who wouldn't be in this situation, I guess?
Right. But there's that scene that you talked about with Hope Davis and the guy who plays Roy from The Office. I don't know the actor's name. First of all, the cast I thought was really interesting. There's a lot of like interesting actors in there that I have never, or that I rarely see in movies, and they revealed like Hope Davis and obviously that Roy character, and also
remind me, who was Roy in The Office?
He's Pam's husband.
Right.
Or is it husband? I think.
Completely forgot about him. Her fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also like the Kelly from King of Queens is in this. Which
what?
Kelly, the like Deacon's wife.
All right.
She's
part of
Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie. Yeah. Thank you.
So it was. I love these kind of movies where people are just showing up that I rarely see, and I'm always like trying to place them. And I couldn't quite place Kelly at first. I mixed her up with a different actress, but then at the end I looked it up and it was like, of course it's Kelly. But just back to that scene, the kid is sort of. There's two people who are basically kidnapping the kid because they are trying to use the kid to get to safety, because people are like, there's like choppers that are leading towards a safe destination, and they want to sort of get on that chopper with the help of the kid because he has like a wristband that is, I don't want to get into it too much, but there's that scene where they're like talking to the military officers, and the kid is, and they're just talking to the kid like, you pretend like we're your parents. We're gonna get you to safety. Just pretend like we're your parents. And then the music and stuff, and then you see the kid sort of like holding back his tears, being super scared, and then he literally goes like to the military officer, "These are not my parents." Just before they were like able to pass, he's like, "These are not my parents." I thought that was, I'm not even kidding, dude. I thought that was an unbelievable scene.
Dude, I think in this scene, the kid was great, like I said, and that was one of the best scenes, if not the best scene of this film. But this doesn't kind of make up for the rest of it, in my opinion.
Dude, I'm not saying this is a masterpiece by any means, but I liked. I was actually surprised as to how many like how emotionally invested I was during certain scenes, because that scene, for example, in other films, like, they would just sort of, he wouldn't say anything because he was scared, or he was like, they would have just gotten away with it. But no, he speaks out, he says it, and then they're like being questioned or whatever. So that they're then detained or whatever. They're sort of
taken away by the military.
They have to sort of pay for the crime that they did, and because they kidnapped him.
Probably die.
Yeah, because they didn't get the safety. Yeah, I thought there was an unbelievable scene. Then the father, I don't know, man. I liked it when they sort of meet the father, and then he greets her like, "Hey, sunflower." I thought it was great. I really did.
I thought he was like also this big macho guy with his fucking big Ram SUV and playing cards with his friends, although the world's about to end, which seemed so over the top. I mean, don't any of these people have wives or children? So come on.
No, but they're all like, I mean, I thought his argument as to why he wanted to stay was quite sweet.
Yeah, but it was also over the top. So I'm gonna stay here. I was born here.
I mean,
American. I'm not born here, but because of his wife. But like I said, a lot of those scenes fell flat for me just because of the acting. The only scenes where I was emotionally invested were between the child and the mother, whose name I've sadly forgotten. The actress's name. I'm very sorry.
Morena Baccarin.
I thought she was quite good at times.
Yeah,
and
I think she's a good actress.
Yeah, but anything involving Jared Butler, which is half the time, was so terrible. I don't with him trying to save the guy from a car. It's like this typical scenes of
I agree.
Everybody's bad in this, and nobody can keep their shit together because humanity is falling apart. But I'm the ultra over male, so I'm going to save this guy because I'm the best person out there.
I agree, but that was sort of the one scene where he was like heroic towards other people. I agree. That whole, I didn't need that scene where he sort of went out of his way to save a stranger.
Yeah.
But I think, like our friend Max said it as well, because he enjoyed the movie because it wasn't Jared Butler saving the world. He was just trying to protect his family. He wasn't like the hero that he is in other films. Like he was a hero, I guess, but just sort of, he's trying to save his wife and his child. It's not like him sort of trying to save everybody because he can't. There's a fucking huge comet coming to destroy the earth and stuff. And listen, I couldn't care less about that whole like comet story. That was sort of, interestingly enough, the thing that wasn't interesting, like the thing that I didn't care about. I actually cared about the family drama about it all. And as I said, that the certain scenes in there really worked for me, and I like this sort of desperation. I think it's sort of realistic in a sense. What would happen if a comet would destroy the Earth or like big parts of the world in like 24 hours? Havoc would break loose, and everyone.
I guess, yeah.
This obviously maybe not as bad as it was portrayed here, but
maybe
I thought it was okay.
I mean, I just have 3 little issues with this film, which is one of them we talked about right after the film ended, was the ending itself.
I agree.
And it should have ended about 1 or 2 minutes earlier.
I completely agree.
Would have made the film a whole lot better, in my opinion. And the second thing is, the film starts off with apparently the couple, Jared Butler and Moraine Baccarin. Fuck.
It's a typical name. But Morena Baccarin.
Having apparently some marital problems. And it kind of gets glossed over until like the ending where they kind of talk about it because, it's a extreme situation, so they kind of forget about it for a moment. But it was so unnecessary. They don't really deal with it at any point except for the ending where they do this big exposition thing with her father and talk about it for 2 minutes and then it's over, which is so unnecessary.
Yes and no. It's sort of like in a situation like this, you would sort of forget about the issues you have.
Of course, but I don't need to see this as a viewer because they kind of build up emotional stakes that I don't care about. Which just, I don't know, it's kind of my issue with the writing, I guess, how they handled the whole thing. Not that they did it, but how they dealt with it.
Yeah, I guess.
Maybe build it up a bit more in the beginning. I mean, also the beginning was quite slow. And the last thing is the title, which is a stupid title because the whole thing is planes are going to safe places and everybody's, where are they going? Well, the film's title is Greenland, and it doesn't... If I recommended this film to anybody and said Greenland, nobody would think of what the film is actually about, and it's not really what the film is about. It's not about Greenland. It's about a family struggling for survival.
What would you title it, Gabe? What would you give it?
Jared Butler playing a macho hero.
Yeah, I would go see that.
Yeah. $9, please. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess. Well, let's move on. I mean, we got other things to discuss, but I thought it was good for what it was, and also like the last actor that was in it for like a short time was the guy from Mindhunter, which is like random as fuck as well.
For like 5 lines and
Holt, what's his name? Holt McCallany. I'm looking it up now.
Sure.
He plays
the guy in the truck. Jared Butler meets in the back of the truck. What's his name? He's also quite... you can know his face from somewhere.
Which one do you mean?
The guy with... he meets back in the back of the truck who kind of tells him about the planes taking off from Canada.
Yes, I know his face. I don't know his name.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I couldn't tell you what he was... What else was he in?
I have no idea. Just remember his face and I know him from somewhere. Or he's just looks exactly like somebody else.
He reminded me of T.I., the guy who was in Ant-Man.
No idea. Ant-Man was my favorite Marvel film, to be honest. So I have no idea.
I don't know, but yeah, a lot of cool actors in there. I thought. Right, let's move on. Let's talk about the secrets we keep.
The better sneak preview.
I disagree, but I think they're like almost at the same level. I didn't love either of them, but I thought.
I mean, I think the secrets we keep was way more interesting. What the acting was better, and it was quite a thrilling thriller. I mean, I was not sure what was about to happen until the very end. I mean, towards the end, you kind of got an idea, but
sort of the complete opposite of Greenland in terms of like the world is going down, a global event, and this is like a very, very contained thriller about a family and like 3 people involved or whatever.
Yeah, but I thought it was quite good.
Yeah,
They also have a young son, so
they do.
I remember his acting, to be honest. It was all right, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The Secrets We Keep. This is a story. It stars. I think her name is Noomi Rapace. I never know how to pronounce her name.
From Alien.
From Prometheus. Yeah.
Prometheus. I'm sorry.
And the girl with the dragon tattoo. The Swedish version, is it? The Scandinavian version.
Yeah.
She plays Lisbeth Salander in the original version. Yeah. And Chris Messina. Mm-hmm. And Alexander Skarsgård. Skarsgård.
Yeah. 2 Swedish actors.
Yeah.
None of whom are playing Swedish people.
Yeah. So this is, do you want to give him another quick synopsis? You're good at these synopses.
I am. Thank you very much. The Secrets We Keep is set in the 50s
Sorry. I'm just looking up Alexander Skarsgård on IMDb. Do you have it open? Just check out his profile picture for a second.
It's very sexy, isn't it?
Yeah. Do you know it?
Well, I googled him once before when I saw what's it called, Altered Carbon, where he's the leading actor.
Yeah, I mean he's got no pants on.
He does. Well, let me check it out again.
Yeah.
All right, I do not remember this picture. Oh, that's the wrong Skarsgård.
You can tell by the pants.
Oh, wait. Then it's not Alexander Skarsgård.
It is.
The guy from Altered Carbon is somebody else.
No, that's. Oh, I'm so stupid. It's not him. It's Joel Kinnaman. It's Joel Kinnaman. I always mix up these 2 actors. Sorry, The Secrets We Keep stars Joel Kinnaman.
Yeah. Somebody completely different. But
I always mix these 2 up.
But he's also Swedish, isn't he?
Yeah. Swedish American. Yeah. My bad.
All right. Well, I didn't even think about that when he says Skarsgård. I just assumed it was right. Yeah. He just looks like a Skarsgård.
I always mix these 2 up. But sorry, go on.
Anyway, it's about a family living in the US in the 50s, and the wife of this family is from Romania, and apparently fled there after or during the World War. All right, she mentions that she met her husband, who is an American who went there as a doctor shortly after the World War, and they met there and moved to America, and she lives there. They have a son, quite a happy family, but when she's out and about in town, she notices a man and starts following him, and then realizes, or thinks she realizes, that
it's
this
Alexander
guy
Skarsgård.
Is Alexander Skarsgård. She's like, what? He was supposed to be born for like 30 years. What's going on? No, and the guy is a Nazi that she encountered in the war, and that she still has, she's very traumatized by what happened with this man. And then she kind of takes fate into her own hands and kidnaps the guy. And what happens in this film is pretty much her and her husband trying to decide what to do with him, if to kill him, and if she's even remembering it, right? Because she's so traumatized by what happened, they aren't even sure, especially her husband, if he is the guy that they think they are, because he says he's from Switzerland, he doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. And then it's kind of revealed, is it true? Is it not true? What is going on? And kind of revealed what actually happened to her to traumatize her this way.
Right. They sort of keep him in their basement.
Yeah.
Like locking him in there and sort of interrogating
torturing
him.
And interrogating him. Yeah.
Sort of the husband wants to get to the truth if he's actually that guy, and if his wife just mixed him up or whatever.
Yeah, because her husband didn't realize any of that happened to her, and is quite surprised because she tells him what happened, or a version of it.
Yeah, she just like drives up with a car and she's like, I got a guy in the trunk. Yeah. He's like, what? Wait, what?
And I mean, it is quite an interesting setup, I think, because the whole setup of, is she even telling the truth? Because if you're traumatized this way, you don't remember everything correctly, probably. And then again, it was years ago. And the husband is also in this weird position of, I want to trust my wife, but I've never heard any of this, what she just told me, because she apparently kept it a secret. So is she lying? Is she confused. What the fuck is going on? What am I supposed to do as a guy who loves his wife but doesn't want to fucking kill some guy?
Yeah.
And I thought it was a pretty cool film.
Yeah, I'm surprised as to how much you enjoyed this. How much you
why
enjoyed
not?
this. Well, I just thought it was an average movie. I wasn't really that invested in the story.
It wasn't great through and through, but all in all, I feel it was a pretty cool film, and it's a film that I would recommend to somebody who's interested in those kinds of thrillers.
Yeah, I mean, what did you think about the ending without spoiling it? Like, did you see that coming, or did you like the way they wrapped it up?
I saw it coming towards the end. I think most people did, where the scene I think I'm talking about, and everybody, a friend of ours said like he was quite surprised by what happened, and I kind of thought up. I was like half playing with the idea in my mind, like, it would be funny in parentheses if this happened.
Sure.
And it did. And I thought it's not a bad way to end it. I thought it was quite interesting, and I actually kind of liked it.
I think it's a bold ending.
Yeah.
Which I don't necessarily mean it's a great ending. It's a bold ending. It's it's.
I think they wrapped it up quite nicely, especially with the very last scene.
Yeah, see that
in the park.
Yeah. It's as I said, I think it's an interesting way to wrap it up. But I mean, I agree. I thought the performances were good, and I thought especially her, Noomi Rapace.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
she's always interesting. She makes very interesting movies. Like also, have you seen that? What Happened to Monday? Is that what it's called?
I don't think so. No. What's that?
Where she has like 7 twin sisters with Willem Dafoe.
No, I mean I love Willem Dafoe, but I have no idea.
What Happened to Monday?
Never heard
I like
about
that
this.
movie. That's like well, that also was in the sneak, and it was also released on Netflix. It was a weird movie. I remember seeing it with Ben, and he sort of spoiled the movie for me because he realized what was going on way before I did, and he was like, "Oh, come on, you see through this, right?" And I was like, "What? No, I don't." But now I do. Thank you for that. I enjoyed that movie.
Well, I gotta check this film out then.
Yeah, it's good. I like it. It's decent.
Talking about the sneak, we talked about the director, and if anybody knows who he is, right?
Yeah.
And I looked it up, Yusuf Adler. And he made a film that was in the sneak before, I think last year, The Operative with Diane Kruger.
Oh, I missed
Martin
that
Freeman.
one. Yeah. Okay. Was that good?
The Secrets We'll Keep was better.
Okay.
Let's say it like that.
Well, I'm not going to seek out the first one then.
Yeah. Don't need to. But I think with The Secrets We Keep, I kind of get it if you don't love it, but I wouldn't say it's a bad movie in any way.
Right. No, I agree. I wouldn't say that either. And yeah, Alexander Skarsgård is incredible.
He always is.
Yeah. Even in the movies he's not in.
Where does Alexander Skarsgård actually star in?
We talked about this before. He's Tarzan.
Right. That's the guy.
And
So
he's
many
also
Skarsgård.
in Big Little Lies.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, he's got a very prevalent role in Big Little Lies. And
Isn't there supposed to be a second season coming out in 2021?
the second season is done.
Already done. All right.
Well, that came out like a year ago. Half a year ago? Yeah.
I thought season 1 came out like a year ago.
No, that's longer.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It's going to be a third season?
I don't know.
All right. Because I was quite surprised when I heard there was even a second season, because I thought it was a miniseries like Sharp Objects with like only one season, because like there are some big actresses in there, and they don't usually make more than one season of any show. Yeah.
No, I don't think they planned on doing it, but it was such a great success. Great success. Borat coming out this Friday. Isn't that a Borat quote?
Great success.
Great success. Yeah, I think so.
Could very well be.
But yeah, I didn't need the second season. I thought the first season was excellent and the second season was okay. But they brought in Meryl Streep for the second season, and that sort of makes it worth watching.
All right. Well, I'm very interested in watching that, especially if we're gonna do like a Kidman or Streep special at some point.
Yeah, it's gonna be that would definitely make my list.
Yeah, cool. Good to know.
Let's talk about the best thing we've seen. I assume it's the same thing because
I assume
you only have one thing left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it is the same thing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, you go first. It's your turn this week.
Well, you say interesting. There wasn't a lot of other things to choose from, and it's a very.
I don't know what you
film.
watched. It could have been.
Well, the best thing that I've seen all week, and I guess Flo as well, is The Trial of the Chicago 7, which we talked about on last week's episode, I think towards the end, or maybe the one before that.
Yeah, it was the last regular episode.
Yeah. talked about it, because it is by the director and writer that you absolutely love, who is...
You want me to say it?
I want you to say it, because it is your guy.
Oh, thank you. My guy, Aaron Sorkin, who wrote all of my favorite movies, I guess, or many of them. Yeah, and this was the movie that it's been out on Netflix since I think October 16th, I believe, 15th or 16th. But I told you this before. It was released in theaters here on October the 2nd, which is my birthday, and I was like, I could not believe this when I saw it. This is because I say it all the time, and believe me, I'm sorry, but it is true. This is another one of my most anticipated movies of the year, just because of Aaron Sorkin. And I was like, oh my God, they were going to release the movie on my birthday. Great. I'll be watching that like a couple of days after, but then obviously I got sick, and then I just watched it on like at home. But I was sort of, thought about going to the cinemas, but then I was like, yeah, no need to spend extra money on this.
Yeah, I think it's not a film that you absolutely need to see in the cinemas.
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know. Yeah, there's some scenes I would have liked to see in the cinema, because there is a great Sorkin humor in there, which is always, obviously, all the funny moments in movies are better if you watch them with a crowd.
I guess, yeah.
But yeah, this is Sorkin going back to a courtroom drama, which he did before with A Few Good Men, which is one of my favorite movies. And he wrote that movie, and it was directed by Rob Reiner, but this time he wrote and directed the trial of the Chicago 7.
I thought this was so great, because I knew from like screenshots and stuff like that it was about protests in like the 70s or 60s.
Yeah.
But I didn't know it was a courtroom drama. And as soon as the film started and it's kind of turned out as a courtroom drama, I had to kind of laugh out loud a bit, because I realized how perfect this film is for you, because I know how much you love courtroom dramas.
Yeah.
I know it's by Aaron Sorkin, so it seemed like the perfect film for you.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, what did you say? It's called The Trial of the Chicago 7. It sort of implies a courtroom drama, no?
I guess I didn't think of that far ahead.
But yeah, I mean, I would love for you to go first, because I got opinions on this. Yeah.
All right. So the film is about, the trial of the Chicago 7, because in the late 60s, just before Nixon started his term in office as the U.S. president, there was a big protest outside the Democratic Convention, which was not sanctioned by the city. So they had a bit of an illegal protest there, which then turned into a very violent spectacle.
Right.
And some of the ringleaders of that protest were arrested, and it's about that trial and who was responsible for it.
Right, because who started the riots. Yeah.
Some people say the police, some people say the protesters.
Right.
And it's a very fitting topic and film for today's day and age.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that even Aaron Sorkin mentioned that he couldn't have anticipated how accurate and on point this topic is for today. And the Chicago 7 are played by some big name actors like Sacha Baron Cohen, who is mostly known for his role as Borat, fittingly.
Yep.
And then we got Eddie Redmayne, John Carroll Lynch, who is a great actor and director. And their lawyer is played by
Mark Rylance.
Yep. Mark Rylance, that's his name. And the prosecutor is played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who's also a big actor. And I don't know who else we have in there.
Judge, Frank Langella.
Langella, thank you.
Or is it Langella? But I think it's Langella.
Yeah, probably.
I don't know.
Like the American pronunciation of his Italian name.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very cool film about that trial and seeing what happened from kind of both sides, I guess, what people talk about and how this is a very political trial. And I think one of the best or the funniest parts of this film were Sacha Baron Cohen and his friend Stone, something Stone, right, is his name, the actor, or
Jeremy Strong.
Strong. And because they're playing hippies. And just the way they act in court and refuse to take anything seriously because they're anti-establishment and authority. And there's this great scene right at the beginning with the egg, which is very funny.
Yeah.
And I liked it very much, to be honest. I thought it was a great film with a whole lot of humor. It drew a bit on. What's the kind of word I'm looking for? It's some scenes were not as entertaining as others. Let's say it that way. But all in all, it's a pretty good film. The only thing that I thought was not that great is they're the trial of the Chicago 7, but like 2 of the 5 people on trial are pretty much nobody with close to no lines. I mean, it is kind of mentioned the way why they are nobody. Like they're just there to be there, so they have somebody who's not as important on there. Maybe somebody they can acquit or something.
Right.
And I was also quite sad that John Carroll Lynch didn't have a bigger role. Because I thought his character was quite interesting.
Right, but he is not like a leading actor. I'm not saying he shouldn't be, but he always plays these supporting roles. And,
I guess, but it would have been cool to kind of see his character develop more. And I think he could be a leading actor.
Yeah, no, for sure. I liked his performance in this as well. I thought he had some great scenes, even though he didn't have a lot of scenes, but I thought the scenes he had were great and powerful.
Yeah, it would have been cool to see more scenes with him and his family.
Yeah. But I mean, as you said, it went on for a while. It's like 2 hours 10 or whatever. So they had to like cut it down to the most important things, I guess.
Yeah. And one little criticism, I guess, is also one thing that is revealed towards the ending. I think you know which thing I mean with Sacha Baron Cohen's character kind of saying something which then kind of makes a bit of a twist in the story, and everybody's like, oh, wow, it was meant differently.
Right.
Which I do not want to say because it's kind of spoils the whole film.
Yep.
But I thought that scene was a bit cheesy. But
I always wonder, it was always, like always when it's based on reality, like I'm always wondering if that was like actually the case, if that happened.
Maybe, but I'm sure it didn't happen in like the way they portrayed it.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, those are my thoughts on the film. How about you? I know you just mentioned how much you were looking forward to this film. Did it hold up or?
Well, first of all, I got to say, because you talked about the stellar cast.
Yeah.
I've been following this project since it was announced. And when the lineup and the casting was announced, I was already like less excited than I was before, because I knew it was an Aaron Sorkin courtroom drama. Because I'm not a fan of any of these actors besides Frank Langella. I'm not saying that I don't like them, but I was hoping for a better cast in terms of people that I actually really, really like. I'm not a big fan of Sacha Baron Cohen's. I'm not a big fan of Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Eddie Redmayne is it sounds so harsh when I say it, but I think he's a fine actor. But so that was sort of, and that when I watched the movie, that sort of solidified my thoughts, or it sort of confirmed my thoughts about the movie before, because I was just hoping for other actors to appear. First of all, I gotta say, like, there's one actor that is revealed halfway through, or
which is?
I don't want to say it now, because actually I
heard
about this actor being in the movie, but I thankfully forgot about it when I watched it. So when he was revealed, I was like, oh, that's so great. And I thought he was unreal. I thought he was excellent in the movie.
He was pretty cool, yeah. But about, like you saying, you would have liked more A-list actors, I guess.
It doesn't have to be A-list.
It is a trial of like the Chicago 7. If you have one actor, like if you throw Brad Pitt in there, it would like
I'm not saying
throw the whole thing out of balance, I guess.
Sure. And I thought every one of these actors did a fine job. I was just sort of a bit like, it sort of, as I said, it lessened my expectations, and it sort of, it was confirmed. They didn't blow me away. That's honestly the case. And I also have to say, Aaron Sorkin, he had directed one movie prior to this, which was Molly's Game, which I thought was very, very good as well. But I do think, and it pains me to say this, I think that both Molly's Game and The Trial of the Chicago 7 would have been better with an even better director. Used the same script because he's one of the best writers in the world, but these scripts could have been elevated in better hands, like better directorial hands. I do believe it. And I listened to a review of Mark Kermode, who I very much like his, I always respect his opinion. And he said, and I wrote this down because I thought it was so accurate, that this movie sort of, he used the word, it was wiggy, which I know is not a word, but it completely applies. Don't you agree?
What context?
Well, he also said it was fluffier than it needed to be. And I agree with that. It was just, they didn't focus on the trial, and they sort of like, they painted all these characters, they like as these eccentric, over the top, and wiggy, sort of implying them wearing wigs, and just looked out of place and not serious enough for the matter that it was, for the subject matter. Of course, these guys didn't take the trial seriously, which is also what the story is about a little bit, but they just could have done that differently. I thought it was just too much at times. I really did.
I guess especially with Strong's character.
Right.
Being quite eccentric.
Yeah. I talked about this with my dad yesterday, and he actually, he said that he loved his performance in this. And because he's apparently also fantastic in the show Succession, which I haven't watched. But I did not like his performance as...
He's funny, but he is always supposed to be, I guess, the loudest guy in the room.
Yeah.
But it can get a bit annoying, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and also I don't want to say that he played it poorly. I just thought that his character, Jerry Rubin, maybe he is that way in real life. Maybe he was that way in real life. Maybe he portrayed him very, very accurately. I don't know that, but I just didn't like the accent, and sort of, I thought he was just, he didn't seem like a real person.
Yeah. I thought it was extremely weird with the after credits or during the credits, the text that showed up, told you what happened to each of the characters or some of them, and it showed what happened to Ruben's character, the real Ruben, I guess, which is so weird.
Yeah,
but I guess he's a weird person.
Yeah, we don't want to give it away, but yeah. But let's. I mean, it sounds like I didn't like the movie. I did like it a lot, and another thing I wanted to ask you, because I read some reviews, as I said, and a lot of people pointed out that they thought the first half of the movie was great, and then the second half was, it wasn't as good, and it sort of became too much cliched, and they said that the first half of the movie was great, and the second half wasn't, and I actually thought it was completely the other way around.
I do kind of agree. Like I mentioned before, I expressed myself pretty poorly, but it dragged on a bit. And I think those scenes that dragged on were more towards the latter half of the film with Eddie Redmayne's character.
So you don't agree with me? You think the first half was better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, although some scenes then again at the end were kind of cool with revealing what happened at the convention.
Yeah.
Those scenes I thought were pretty cool, but inside the courtroom I thought was more interesting, especially with the character whose name I've forgotten, who was part of the Black Panthers, who was on trial, whose scenes are more relevant in the
Bobby
first half.
Seale? Is that his name?
Maybe. I'm so bad with names.
I think it's Bobby
His
Seale.
real name is something...
He was in Watchmen. Yeah, please say his name. I want to. Yeah, no, it's Yahya Abdul Mateen II.
Yeah,
he played Bobby Seale. Yeah,
right. I thought those scenes were more interesting, and yeah, I mean the second half was still pretty cool.
Yeah, I enjoyed the second half more because that's sort of when Sorkin humor kicked in for me. And there were some scenes. Now I want to talk about
the humor kind of died down with the second half.
You think so? See, I disagree. I think
so?
Because I really had to laugh out loud a couple of times in the second half. And I want to now praise the movie because, as I said, I actually really did enjoy it. There was one scene that I really had to laugh out loud, and I loved it, especially as a courtroom fan, because I hadn't seen it before. First of all, Frank Langella as the judge I thought was great.
Yeah,
there's a bit of Oscar buzz around him already, which I don't know, it's just fan generated or whatever. But a lot of people say that Sacha Baron Cohen and him were sort of the standouts. And there's that one scene where the character that or the actor that I don't want to reveal who it is, but he says that's what happened on blah blah blah, and he says, yeah, that's Richard Nixon was elected president, and Frank Langella as the judge, he goes, sustained, and Mark Rylance goes, nobody objected. I love that scene. It's such a courtroom cliche, but I've never seen that before. I really love that. And there's scenes like that, well-written dialogue throughout the whole film that really are just Sorkin at his best. But it's sort of, for me, I felt like his dialogue became better and more engaging in the latter half of the movie for whatever reason. Yeah. But yeah, it's, I don't know. John Carroll Lynch, I liked his scene where he was where he hits the guy, he hits the guy who's trying to restrain him, and then he says,
Yeah, sorry, I just want to say, because the whole arc of John Carroll Lynch's character is this pacifist guy who teaches his child at the very beginning to never hit anybody.
Yeah.
And to never provoke somebody. But sorry, go ahead.
No, but and then after them, because the trial goes on forever, and then he says why don't you give us a real trial? I've sat here for 6 months, and then he goes yeah, you don't need to grab my arm, because he's trying to. The judge asks people to restrain him, and then he hits him, and then he's like completely shocked, and his kid is in the audience too, and he goes like, I'm sorry. I thought his performance in that scene was great.
Yeah, I thought so as well, especially with, like you said, with them trying to grab his arms. So, you don't have to grab me, I'm gonna sit down. And he sits down and immediately gets back up just because he's so full of adrenaline.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool. And also,
go on.
Sorry, with Sacha Baron Cohen's character, using this like Oscar buzz or people praising him, I thought he was really cool in this film, but I had a feeling he was kind of playing himself at times.
Yeah,
just for him trying to provoke the judge. Seems like such a Sacha Baron Cohen thing to do, with like him wearing the judge robes and then underneath another costume.
Yeah,
like seems something like he would totally do.
I agree. And yeah, I mean, I thought Eddie Redmayne was good as well, as and I liked how they sort of told the story with flashbacks. I did enjoy that. And also the scene that you talked about where he interpreted the thing wrongly, and that's why the scene that you talked about before with Baron Cohen and with Eddie Redmayne, because he you know the scene I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I thought that was a great scene. Really, that was sort of I was really thrilled and engaged during that scene.
I thought it was a bit too easy, I guess.
It's a cheap like twist, I guess.
Yeah, it's like a get out of jail free card. It's like this Deus Ex Machina of them seem absolutely fucking then some little like detail. And
but I liked how sort of
changes.
Sacha Baron Cohen sort of explains it to his lawyer, because he read everything that Tom Hagen, Eddie Redmayne's character, has ever published, and that's sort of why he understood what he actually meant to say. And I liked the reaction of like, oh, you actually read everything that I did? Yeah, of course. And you're a great writer and whatever. And sort of, I liked the dynamic between the two of them there, because they're obviously two people who don't really see eye to eye during most of the thing. And that was a nice scene. And the ending I thought was great.
Yeah, the very last scene was very cool.
Like very cliche, like very over the top, and maybe very glorified and a bit unrealistic. Maybe I don't know how it happened actually, like, but sort of the thing they decided to do was really powerful, I thought. And also like what Joseph Gordon-Levitt did then, which was also like very cliche.
Actually did like the whole thing.
I was wondering the same thing. It can't be, right? That would take forever.
Well, aren't they technically entitled to that time? Because
I
think I read somewhere that somebody had could do the same thing that they did, and had like a speech for about a day. Yeah. They couldn't stop him legally, so he just dragged on.
Yep. I was literally wondering the same thing. But that's it. Yeah, I did enjoy it. I really did. And I just think it would have been even better with a different cast and a better director.
Well, he's not a bad director.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I hope that came across.
Yeah. It is still a pretty cool film. Even if you said like a better director, he's still a great director. He's maybe not on the same level as like, I don't know, Denis Villeneuve or like Fincher, but he's still a very good director.
I think he's a good director. I
wasn't a fan of Molly's Game, to be honest.
But you weren't a fan of Molly's Game?
No, I think we talked about this before.
I've never heard that before.
An alright film.
Outrageous. No, I like Molly's Game a lot. But yeah, I think his writing is just genius and definitely worth checking out.
He's a great writer. Yeah, I still haven't seen A Few Good Men, and I know that's like a big flaw and a missing part of my movie knowledge. Whatever.
Too many films to watch, but yeah.
I know, so many. But yeah, dude, I think all in all, good 2 weeks, I guess. I mean, Trials of Chicago 7 was a pretty cool film to see, and like I said, Secrets We Keep is a film that I probably wouldn't have watched if I hadn't seen it in the sneak.
Yeah, and Greenland was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have paid for this film if it hadn't been in the sneak.
Sure.
Say it like that. I don't know.
I enjoyed all these three things this week, or the last 2 weeks. I enjoyed them all. But obviously, Trial of the Chicago 7 is also on Netflix now, and that's sort of the pick of the bunch. And I think it's I mean, I say this also a lot, but it's a story that deserves to be told. It's quite a fascinating story.
Yeah, and I think the ending is I did not expect.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah.
And once again, it sounded maybe like I was bashing I thought the cast was fine. I thought the direction was fine. I was just hoping for a bit more because it was sort of so suited towards me and Aaron Sorkin courtroom drama. I was just expecting that bit more, but it is a very good film.
It's hard when expectations are that high.
Yeah, it is. It is. But yeah, as I said, it's a great film. That's
All right.
it. Yeah, good couple of picks.
Yeah, another episode in the bag.
Yep.
Was a fun one as always.
Yes, and we talked about the next special episode, the person that we're going to center it around, which is going to be quite a task, as it always is. But I'm excited to talk about it because, another interesting career to be dissected by us.
Yeah, and maybe after this recording is over, I got to ask you if I can borrow a Blu-ray because I'm very sure that you got it.
Okay. Sure. we can do that.
All right.
But yeah.
Thank you so much for listening, everybody. And as always, you can find us on Twitter at Best Thing Radio or on Instagram under Best Thing Radio. And apart from that, you can find us on pretty much any podcast platform with YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts under Best Thing We've Seen. We appreciate a review or a like on YouTube, or even a subscribe would help out a big deal. And check out our cover art, which Flo designs every week. You can check it out on YouTube, where it's the thumbnail, or on Instagram, where he also posts it, and I guess also on Twitter.
Right.
So yeah, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much. We hope you have a good week, and we'll be back with another episode next Monday.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Bye-bye.
Bye.